name is Andy Rodriguez, and I'm the Executive Director of the Nampa Housing Authority, also known as NHA. I'd like to introduce you to our agency and a new program that we're gearing up called Faces of Nampa Housing Authority. In order to understand how NHA came to be, one needs to look at the history of housing authorities throughout the nation. Congress conducted the first known study of slum conditions in the USA in 1892. This study revealed there was a less than adequate quality of housing and services available. The Great Depression was the beginning of government involvement in private sector areas, including housing. To stimulate recovery from the Depression, Congress passed laws to provide jobs through the construction of public buildings and projects, which included housing for the working poor. The Housing Act of 1937 established a permanent public housing program and required states to create local public housing authorities. The first 75 units were built in 1951, 57 of which range from 2 to 4 bedrooms. The additional 18 units are 1-bedroom units and are considered elderly disabled units on the north side. The next phase of development took place in 1980. 45 units were added at 3 different sites in Nampa, at Chicola, Ivy Street, and Delaware. In 1994, 11 additional units were built in different areas of Nampa at the corner of 4th Street North and 9th Avenue North and on Hudson. Another 11 units were built at New Ivy, Stanford, and Fairview Avenue in 1996. So our population is really close to that of the city of Nampa in that we have roughly 50% Latino, 50% white, and other races that live here. Where we do differ, however, is that we do have a larger number of single-parent families living here, where 60 of them are 2-parent families and the others are 1 single-parent family. It doesn't take into account the fact that we have individuals that are elderly and disabled, but it certainly is a good cross-section of what our community looks like in general. We have a lot of families that are working. We have a lot of folks that are in training programs, and of course there's our elderly and disabled families who, quite frankly, will hope that they stay with us for their entire life. Meanwhile, the other folks that are working or in training programs, they're going to be here for just a short period of time, roughly 5 years or so, which is about what it takes for an individual to finish school. Obviously, the main program that we offer is housing to our families, and it's provided in a way that it's based on their income. So if a person is working, let's say they make $1,000 a month, they'll never pay more than 30% of their gross adjusted income, which is roughly $300. Individuals that are in school sometimes don't even pay rent while they're here and in school. They'll get what's called the utility allowance, pay 0 rent for that time that they're in school, and then hopefully become self-sufficient. And to that end, we have a self-sufficiency program. It's called the Family Self-Sufficiency Program, and it's operated under the Resident Opportunity Self-Sufficiency Programs. That's the bigger umbrella. We have 2 programs under that, one being Family Self-Sufficiency, and that one we have people in the program for about 5 years. They have to go to school, find a job, get their credit in order, and the end game for that, we hope, is that they buy their own home. It doesn't always happen, obviously, but it's our hope that that's what they would do, because we know that once you buy a home, the impact to your family is multi-generational. In the ROS program that we call the Resident Opportunity Self-Sufficiency Program, that one has what's called ROS goals, and what that does is it acts kind of like a college curriculum, and it gets people used to being in a sort of collegiate sort of format, and they're learning things like parenting skills, financing, how to buy a house, how to get their credit in order, and things of that nature. And that program's really good, but we want to help everyone in our housing authority, so we look at folks from infancy all the way to their elderly status. Those individuals that are young, we try to bring them in and do after-school programs for our elementary age students. And we also try to keep our elders occupied by having them come in and do bingo classes or learning how to cook on a fixed income and buy items that are going to be more beneficial to their family health-wise, but cost less as well. Given the diverse population that I talked about earlier, we recognize that not everyone speaks English, and therefore we come together with the LDS Church and have created some ESL classes, or English as a Second Language classes. That's helping individuals learn just basic vocabulary so that they can get along in a world that, quite frankly, speaks English. We also have other classes for folks like everyday budgeting, Toastmasters, vision boarding, healthy relationships, and TRIO. All of those programs are meant just to help people get on their feet, and again, we're all looking at just self-sufficiency as the end game here. One program that we're wanting to roll out here soon is a reading initiative. We recognize that in the 3rd grade, if a young person hasn't learned how to read at that level by that time, they're going to fall behind in school. Because what happens is in the 4th grade, you've already learned all that you're going to learn in your reading skills, and now the schools are going to start to apply lessons to you in the 4th grade. So if you're not at the 3rd grade reading level, by the time you complete the 3rd grade, you're going to fall behind. And what does that mean? Obviously it means that you're going to be looking at possibly not finishing school. And quite frankly, states like Idaho look at that, at where people are at in the 3rd grade in their reading initiative, and deciding how many prisons to make as a result of that. Why? Because if you can't read, you obviously have trouble in everyday life, and that can cause other problems. What's happening here is that we want to create a 3rd grade reading initiative to make sure that our young kids have the opportunity to be at that level when they finish the 3rd grade, so that they will be successful later on in life. That one is a really exciting program. We're partnering with the Kiwanis of Nampa and looking to roll that out later this fall. I hope you caught on to the idea that we celebrate our families here, and we call our families residents, not tenants. Big difference. The difference is a tenant is somebody who pays you money. A resident is someone who's in your care. And at Nampa Housing Authority, we think that our residents are in our care, and that's why we call them residents. We also celebrate with them different functions, such as our Resident Appreciation Day that we do in the summertime. That brings together all of our families, and we have a big cook-off, and we feed them, because when you bring food, people come. But we also partner with the OG BAD, and they help us serve the food, and they're there with our residents as well. We also, in the wintertime, partner up with the Marine Corps, Reserves, and do Toys for Tots. Being a Marine, I really appreciate the fact that my brothers in arms are willing to put down their arms for a moment to help our children during a time of need. A lot of our kids wouldn't even get a gift under their Christmas tree if it weren't for the Marines and that effort of our entire community. So we're really grateful for that. And what we do is we have Santa Claus show up, and he gives the bag of goodies to the kids, and they come in and eat cookies and drink chocolate or hot apple cider, whichever they prefer. And it's just a way to come together as a family and celebrate one of our holiday seasons. Also during the holidays, we partner with folks like the Kiwanis Club and Kiwanis of Nampa and other community agencies who help bring food baskets to our families. The Nampa Elks Lodge is one who we partner with, and they help out 25 of our families every year with the holiday food that they would maybe not get otherwise. So there's ham and turkey and other things like that that they would serve during that time of year. So we partner with them as well, and that's a neat way to bring our community together to help those in need. So throughout the coming year, we're going to be videotaping our families and showcasing them and their efforts in order to become self-sufficient. So we'll be working with families who are new to the program, new to the FSS program, or have already graduated from the FSS program and moved on to their own home. So I hope you'll join us and enjoy those videos. Thank you.